For 7 years, I gave everything to Donovan Global Holdings. I wasn't just another employee. I was the person everyone called when a $1 million client threatened to leave, when a project was falling apart, or when an impossible deadline had to be met. While others clocked out at 5, I stayed until midnight. I missed birthdays, skipped holidays, and even watched my engagement fall apart because my fiancé grew tired of hearing, "I have to work late again." Every sacrifice felt worth it because I believed in one promise that my boss, Mark Donovan, had repeated for years. "Emily," he would say during every performance review, "when the regional director position opens, it's yours. Nobody deserves it more than you." Those words became my motivation. They were the reason I never complained, never demanded recognition, and never considered offers from competing companies that tried to recruit me. I believed loyalty mattered. I believed hard work always won in the end. When the announcement day finally arrived, the entire headquarters buzzed with excitement. Coworkers smiled at me as I walked through the lobby. Some hugged me in advance, while others whispered, "Congratulations, Emily. You've earned this." Even the receptionist, who had known me since my first day, winked and said, "Don't forget us little people when you're the boss." I laughed, though inside I felt nervous. 7 years of waiting had led to this single morning. The conference hall was decorated with banners and flowers. Senior executives filled the front row while department managers stood along the walls. Mark stepped onto the stage wearing his usual confident smile. He adjusted the microphone and began thanking everyone for their dedication before announcing that the company had chosen someone young, energetic, and ready to lead the future. I wasn't worried. Those words sounded like the speech he always gave before introducing me at annual awards. Then he paused, smiled toward the front row, and he said, "Please join me in congratulating our new regional director, Ryan Mitchell." For a moment, I thought I had heard him wrong. The room fell into stunned silence before a few hesitant claps echoed through the hall. Ryan stood up looking almost embarrassed. He was 26 years old and had joined the company only 8 months earlier. He had never managed a major client, never led a successful project, and had spent more time asking me for help than making decisions himself. But everyone knew the truth that nobody dared to say aloud. Ryan was the son of Mark's business partner. I looked around the room. My coworkers stared at me with sympathy. Some couldn't even meet my eyes. They knew exactly what had happened. Mark finally looked at me, expecting tears, anger, or perhaps a public confrontation. Instead, I smiled. Not a fake smile. Not a sarcastic smile. A calm, peaceful smile that immediately erased the confidence from Mark's face. I slowly reached into my leather folder, removed a neatly folded envelope, and walked toward the stage. Every pair of eyes followed me. The room became so quiet that the sound of my heels echoed across the marble floor. I stopped in front of Mark and placed the envelope on the podium. "What's this?" he asked nervously. "My resignation." The color drained from his face. "Emily, don't make an emotional decision." "I made this decision the moment you made yours," I replied softly. Without another word, I turned toward Ryan. He looked uncomfortable, almost guilty. I extended my hand. "Congratulations, Ryan." He hesitated before shaking it. As I leaned closer, I quietly whispered, "I truly hope you're ready." His smile disappeared. "Ready for what?" he asked. I simply smiled again and walked away. Behind me, I heard Mark call my name several times, but I never looked back. By the next morning, the consequences of his decision began unfolding faster than anyone could have imagined. My office sat empty. My email had been deactivated. My company phone rested on the HR manager's desk. At first, Mark believed replacing me would be easy. After all, Ryan now held my promotion. But reality arrived before lunchtime. A multi-million-dollar client refused to continue contract negotiations unless I personally handled the account. Another demanded to know why I had disappeared without warning. 3 international partners postponed their meetings indefinitely. Ryan couldn't answer even the simplest technical questions because, for years, I had quietly handled the negotiations, solved crises behind closed doors, and protected the company's biggest accounts while Mark accepted all the credit. Within 48 hours, projects worth nearly $50 million were delayed. Investors started asking uncomfortable questions. Department heads admitted they had relied on me far more than anyone realized. Mark called me over 30 times that week. Every call went unanswered. What he didn't know was that I had spent the last 2 years quietly preparing for exactly this possibility. Every night after work, while everyone believed I was simply working overtime, I had been building something of my own, a revolutionary logistics platform designed to cut supply chain costs by almost 40%. I had intended to gift it to Donovan Global after my promotion as proof of my loyalty. Now, that dream belonged to no one but me. I incorporated my own company, Silver Horizon Logistics, and 3 of the brightest employees from Donovan Global resigned within a month to join me. They didn't come because I promised higher salaries. They came because they believed in something Mark never understood: respect. 6 months later, Silver Horizon became the fastest-growing logistics technology company in the region. One by one, Donovan Global's biggest clients terminated their contracts and signed with us instead. They weren't buying software, they were following trust. Every success we celebrated became another headline, while Donovan Global's stock continued to fall. Mark grew desperate. He requested a private meeting, hoping money could fix what Betrayal had broken. When we met, he looked 10 years older. "I'll make you CEO," he said quietly. "Come back. Name your salary." I stirred my coffee before looking into his tired eyes. "You still think this was about a title?" "It wasn't. No. It was about being seen." He lowered his head. "I made a mistake." "You didn't make a mistake, Mark. You made a choice." Weeks later, news channels exploded with reports that government investigators had launched an inquiry into Donovan Global's financial records. Rumors spread that someone inside the company had exposed years of fraudulent executive bonuses and hidden accounting practices. Mark assumed I had taken revenge. Furious, he called me from an unknown number. "You destroyed everything." I answered calmly, "No, Mark." I simply walked away. The investigation revealed something neither of us expected. The whistleblower wasn't me. It was Ryan. After taking over the position that should have been mine, Ryan had discovered years of financial manipulation hidden inside confidential executive files. When Mark pressured him to falsify new reports to cover the old ones, Ryan secretly copied every document and handed them to federal investigators. The very person Mark had promoted through favoritism became the reason his empire collapsed. A year later, I received a handwritten letter from Ryan. "Emily, the day you smiled and congratulated me, I thought I had one. I didn't realize I was inheriting a sinking ship. Watching you walk away with dignity taught me more about leadership than anyone ever could. Thank you for showing me that success earned through integrity lasts longer than success handed through favoritism." I folded the letter, looked across the glass walls of my new headquarters, and watched hundreds of employees walk into a company built on fairness instead of favoritism. In that moment, I realized the greatest revenge was never making Mark lose everything. The greatest revenge was proving that the person he underestimated had the power to build something far greater than the empire he destroyed with a single unfair decision.